Hey everyone, it's Stranger Grayson here, and welcome back to another horror movie review. Today, I'm still continuing the Friday the 13th movie reviews with Strange Michael and Goosebumps Boy. Unfortunately, Goosebumps Boy could not review this movie, and Jason Goes to Hell the final Friday. But that's okay, at least he's going to be able to review, I think, Freddy vs. Jason and the remake. But Strange Michael covered this, I think, yesterday or the day before. I was going to watch this last night, but the Blu-ray I had, the discs did not work. Fortunately, Scream Factory had replacement discs that came with my bundle, so I had to run and get that and watch this movie this morning. And that movie is Jason X. Yeah, this is the one where Jason goes to space, and this really did kill the franchise. Well, Jason Goes to Hell probably killed the franchise, but this movie was just made to make sure the rights were in place. I believe when Sean S. Cunningham got the rights back to Jason, he didn't get the Friday the 13th name, not at least yet anyway. He could only use Jason, and I believe this movie was made to make sure the rights were kept in place while Freddy vs. Jason was getting made during this time. Because this came out, I think, 2 years before Freddy vs. Jason. Yeah, this was 2001. So, Jason X. What is this movie about? This movie follows Jason Voorhees yet again in the year 2010, which we are way past that now, like 13 years. And he is being kept, well, for this movie, it was 9 years later, so, it's futuristic for them. But Jason is being kept in, this facility. It's like a military-based facility. They've tried so much stuff to try and kill him, that with firing squad, hanging, electrocution, of course, none of that worked. Honestly, half those is what brings him back to life, or electrocution is what brings him back to life, but they want to cryogenically freeze him and keep him in stasis until they can figure out what to do with him. And it's being operated by this doctor named Rowan. But while they're in mid-process trying to do that, a bunch of militia, military men, and another guy named Dr. Wimmer shows up, and they want to take Jason and do experiments on him since he is unkillable. They think they could profit a lot off that. Of course, Rowan is not at agreement to this because, if he gets out and innocent people will die, the doctor's like, well, that's something we're willing to risk in order to experiment on him. So, yeah, they're all in it for money and greed. But when they transfer him, they find out he escaped his chains. He kills all the militia, including Dr. Wimmer, and it's only Rowan left at this point. So she runs down to the cryogenic chamber. She traps him in there. However, in the process, she gets stabbed. The cryogenic stuff leaks all in the lab, and she gets cryogenically frozen along with Jason. So we then cut to a bunch of scientific explorers. They're visiting Earth, and they discover Jason in the cryogenic chamber along with Rowan. They then get transported onto a ship where they resuscitate Rowan after she's been cryogenically held for 400 years, a little over 400 years. She wakes up, and the people that woke her up, such as Janessa, another doctor, or a professor, and Waylon, they all tell her that she is in the year 2455, and they are trying to get to Earth 2, and they are on a ship called the Grendel. So she has been in cryogenics for over 400 years. I'm going to die before 2455. I think most of these people watching this video is going to die before 2455. So this was a really freaking weird time zone to choose this movie in. But she soon discovers that they also unfroze Jason, but they say he's dead when he's really not. Unfortunately, he wakes up from his cryogenic sleep, kills the person that was looking at his body, and he wreaks havoc among the ship, and the survivors must figure out a way to get off. Jason X was a movie that I never really liked. I only saw it one time, and I was like 5 years old. I liked it at the time because it was space, and my whole ideology was space is awesome. However, now that I'm 11 years older, maybe 12. I have discovered that most of the time when you put your mascot in space, that is what kills the franchise. And this was actually probably the last time we actually got like an official Jason movie until the remake. We had the crossover, but this was like the last movie that focused on Jason until the remake. And same thing with Leprechaun 4 in space. Once you put them in space, it's not going to go very well. And it's not for the reasons you think, because the space thing, it can work for some monsters, but when you put somebody like Jason or Leprechaun in space, it really does not make a lot of... the setting just doesn't make sense for him, in my personal opinion, because sure, it's cool for him to experiment with new tools, but seeing Kane Hodder as Jason, and by the way, this was Kane Hodder's last performance for Jason before they replaced him in 2003 with Freddy vs. Jason, with a person I will talk about in that review. This was his last performance, and I gotta say, he got a heck of a lot more screen time than he did in Jason Goes to Hell, and he does a way better performance than he did in that film, if I gotta be honest. I still think Part 7 is his best performance, but this is honestly probably my second favorite performance of Kane Hodder. The kills in this film, while I still think the Final Friday holds the best gore material and the best kills, this film does a lot better with the kills than Part 8 and Part 7, especially Part 7 and Part 6. This is one of the better kills, one of the better gore in this film. The characters, I really did not enjoy all that much. Besides Rowan and maybe the android KM, she was pretty cool, especially that fight scene she had with Jason. But most of the other characters sucked ass, if I gotta be honest. I really did not enjoy most of those people. The professor was a douchebag. So was Weimer from the 2010 time part that we got in the film. The ending to this movie, I think, killed Jason for good. And I'm pretty sure this film was supposed to take place after Freddy vs. Jason, from what I'm hearing from some reviewers and some timeline stuff. The timeline for this series is totally off kilter and everywhere, but from what I'm told, this is supposed to take place after Freddy vs. Jason, but this was made before Freddy vs. Jason, so I'm not really buying it. But I do like the way the ending goes. Sure, it's a little clingy and cliche, but I do like how the ending sort of plays out. Uber Jason in this film, I don't think Michael liked him all that much, but he looks badass, bro. This is Uber Jason, by the way, the guy with the metal hockey mask. This is what Jason looked like before he got Uberized, which I won't explain how he gets that way, but find out for yourself if you watch this film. Even though it's not a great film, I still think you'll enjoy the Jason parts and Kane Hodder's performance. Uber Jason looks badass. That's another positive I have for this movie. Other than that, writing was really not all that well. The characters sucked for the most part, except like one or two. I thought Jason was pretty good for what... I thought Kane Hodder as Jason was pretty good for what he had going for this film. Other than that, this film was kind of, bland, and it honestly felt rushed to me at some points. But, it's a 2000s film. What do you expect? I mean, I'm pretty sure this was around the time when all these remakes started happening, like 2000s to early 2010s. So you can expect that for a film like this. I'm not sure if this was released direct to video or if it was theatrical, but my bet's willing it was direct to video. So yeah, that's pretty much it on my Jason X review. Didn't really have a lot going for it. Was better than Part 9 and Part 8, but oh man, is it lacking in a lot of areas. So that has been my review on Jason X. Some great kills, especially with the cryo freeze face and smash kill. I thought that was pretty cool. Then, you know, some fight scenes were cool, but other than that, really lacking in a lot of areas and terrible writing and terrible characters, except for like one. So that has been my review on Jason X. If I had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it about a 6.5. Yeah, it was bland. So what is everyone's thoughts on Jason X? Let me know down in the comment section down below. Would really love to hear everyone's thoughts on it. Be sure to check out Strange Michael and Goosebumps Boy. I'll leave a link to their channels down in the description down below. And I will see you in the next review. God bless and have a great day. Bye, everyone.